The Malaysian ringgit is probably the currency that's been hardest hit by everything that's been going on. It is Asia's worst performing currency. Just since the Yuan devaluation on Tuesday, it's lost about 4% of its value against the US dollar. But you know what? For the year, it's down about 16%. So it's clear that the Chinese effect, the China effect, has only exacerbated what was already a worrying trend for Malaysians and the Malaysian currency.
If the renminbi were to weaken by another 3 to 5%, I don't think that is really a significant move relative to the rest of the region, or let's say relative to the euro. So we think that it is a plausible scenario that the renminbi could weaken a little bit more.
We've barely touched the surface, and I feel that the vociferousness with which they denied that they wanted the currency down 10% yesterday would suggest to me that 10% is the end game, isn't it? So, I mean, in reality, I think there's more to come, and the problem with competitive regional devaluation, we saw it in the 90s. The race for the bottom is not good for any economy, particularly the smaller economies around Asia.
For them, it will mean that more central banks will start to add up on their reserve, that corporations will have more renminbi deposit and loans and whatever. We have to come to the terms that the renminbi will become one of the leading currency in few years from now.
As far as Asian equities are concerned, there are some very, very cheap markets. China is very cheap, Korea is cheap, and ASEAN is getting cheap as well. But as you well know, unfortunately, global investors are not buying cheapness. If anything, they're buying safety, they're buying growth, they're buying quality.
Look at the market that foreign investors can mostly access, which is the offshore market. China's looking much better value after the recent market falls. It was probably a bit too expensive earlier. But we wouldn't access China particularly on its own. We would regard it as part of the global emerging markets opportunity set. And that's how we should look at it.